Alright, today I'm going to show you some adaptive devices I've been using for years. They're easy to make, pretty cheap, and they're really functional. First I'll just tell you that I'm a C5-6 quadriplegic, paralyzed from the chest down, complete. I don't have any tricep muscles, and my hands are stuck in a tenodesis grip. I'm right-handed, so my right hand's kind of loose, and it's pretty easy to get around objects. But my left hand's pretty tight. But I can go like this, stick it over my armrest and stretch it out a little bit. And then I can use this fork here. It's just two forks. They're riveted onto this piece of aluminum bar that's shaped to my hand, end to end. And I can just go like this, slide it onto my hands, and then it's stuck on there really well. And I like to use these knives. They're commercially available. It's just an L-shaped thing. You can get them several different places. But they slide over my hand pretty nice. So if I want to cut something, I can just go jab in like that and cut, cut, cut. This is serrated, by the way. It's easier to use. And then I can go like this, go eat, eat, eat. Or cut everything up first, and then flip the fork around. That's a little easier to get in your mouth. And if you want to stir something up with this fork, like a salad, just flip it over to the other hand, stick it on, it's on really solid, go stir, 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 once again, jab down, and eat, eat, eat. Okay, that's the kitchen utensils. Now I've got a bunch of pickup sticks that I can show you. First one here, this is actually a toilet bowl cleaner. It was brand new, not used. It used to have a hoop around it with a bunch of bristles on it. So I crushed the wire ring down, and then I bent it 90 degrees or 180 and put a hook on it. And on the other end, it has one of these universal Velcro cuffs. These are pretty ubiquitous in the whole OT world, so pretty much anybody knows about it, I think. Then I can just stick this on my hand. I usually just keep it closed. Because of this reason. And it's pretty good just to grab things off that are really close. And the best thing about this one, it's great to get your mail out of the mailbox. You can just kind of get it into the mailbox, hook it around your letters, and pull the letters out. Now the next one, this is a broken ski pole. So there's tons of them around. So I just stuck a wooden dowel up the shaft of it here, put a little set screw in it. And on the end, I formed a hook out of a metal coat hanger. I just doubled it up, and then I just formed up a hook, put a couple zip ties on it, and tied it up. And it crafts things off a shelf pretty nice. And this one works really good for getting things off the grocery shelves. You can go like that, pick things down, pull things out. And next one. This is a whole ski pole. It's not even broken. Just pop the basket off the end of it. Once again, zip tie a hook onto it, made from a metal coat hanger, which you can get dozens for $1 at the secondhand store if you want. And the nice thing about ski poles is that they're super light, and they have a handle on the end of them, a nice grip. So you can just kind of wander around like that. And this one's good to use with this here cardboard box. And I just put a hole in one of the flaps on the top of it like that. So if I drop something on the floor, like whatever, I just drop that down like that, push it over, sort of jam whatever I want in there, and go like that, bring it up, and there I have it. Now, if you want to go a little more extendo on your reach, this is a salmon mooching rod. It's fairly long and pretty stiff. It's just the butt end of it. And once again, I just stuck a coat hanger, hook, zip tied it, taped it on. And it's good for reaching farther down. Maybe you want to get underneath the shelf, or you want to get a little bit higher up like that. And the nice thing about fishing rods also is they're super, super light. You can throw them around pretty good. And most of them have a pretty grippy end on them that you can get your hands on. Yeah. And say you want to go super extendo and you like dusting. I just stuck the little dollar store duster on this one. Just jammed on there perfectly. And my ceilings are 10 or 11 feet high. But with this, I can get right on up there and dusty and works really good. Just don't hit the ceiling fan. Okay, so that's it for the pickup devices. And if you like doing some woodwork maybe, I've got a little scroll saw here that works really well. It's pretty easy for a quadriplegic to use. You can dress up your little birdhouses if you want. And if you just like to do some sanding, once again, just a little detail sander. It has one of these Velcro cuffs on it. I can just get my hand in there and sand whatever on up. And it works really well too. So that's it for that. And for those of you who still use a desktop computer, I'll just show you the setup that I use that works really well. It's ergonomically nice. Okay, I'll just go over to the office here. Alright, so this is my computer desk. And to run a computer, I've got a little shorty keyboard here. And on one side I have a trackball mouse, and on the other side I just have a regular mouse. The trackball mouse I just use for scrolling. The regular mouse I just use for clicking. On these old mouses, you gotta tape over the optical sensor on the bottom, or else every time it moves, it'll move the cursor also. So I can keep my arms on my armrest pretty well. To scroll, my elbow's still on my armrest, so it's not that, you know, it's fairly easy to do. It's not that tiring. And the other hand, same thing. I can keep my elbow on the armrest and just go clicky clicky. And when I'm not doing anything, I can just drop my arms down like this. It's all pretty tight together. And to use the keyboard, once again, another little Velcro cuffy thing. And there's a sleeve on this one. And you can just drop a pencil into the sleeve, cut it to whatever length you want. And basically it ends up looking like this. And so I can just go type, 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 type. And it works pretty good. I don't type a lot, just a couple sentences here and there, so. But it works well, and every so often I'll flip the trackball over to this side and the other mouse over to this side, and it helps the shoulders recuperate here and there. And that's it for computers. Okay, so my favorite tools in gardening are a hoe, a rake, and a stirrup weeder is what I call it. All these tools come with about a 4-foot handle on it, so the idea is just to extend the handle in one way or another. So the hoe handle I cut off because this far end went kind of in a curvy type taper type of thing, and I'm going to extend it with a 4-foot piece of wooden doweling here. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this pipe, I'm going to stick it on the end like that. I'm going to take some thin plastic, like something from a vinegar jug or an ice cream tub, and I'm going to jab it in there just so it tightens up this pipe onto the wood. And then I'm going to stick this 4-foot long piece in the other end and put a couple set screws in it. So it'll end up being about a 6-foot long handle.
Now, another type of handle is like this rake here. It has a hollow fiberglass handle in it. And all I did was get another piece of wooden doweling, jammed it in the end, and it extends it out for about 7 feet. So you can just go reiki, flip it over, do some more raking. And a good way on these long handles to flip things around is to pivot it off your armrest as such, and you can kind of move things around like that. And one other tool is what I call a stirrup weeder. I have no idea what it's called actually. Yeah. It looks like that. It's just a thin piece of hardened steel shaped like a stirrup. And it came with another 4-foot handle. But I took the whole handle off and I just bolted on another piece of wooden doweling, which is about 6 or 7 feet long also. Once again, you can just chuck it down like that. Get on it and take out some weeds. And yeah, you can just pivot off your armrest too and move the weeder around, or any other tool you want to use. So the whole idea behind gardening tools is that the dirt's down there, so you want longer handles on any tool you want to work with. And gardening, I think, is probably the best exercise I've ever found for a quadriplegic. So extend your handles and get on out there. That's about it for the adaptive devices. Okay, thanks.